science of the Moors, which we often term as Moorish science, for 33 years. This is definitely a brother of love, demonstrating our principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, keeping our prophet out front. Brother Granville Raffordell.
I want to give honor to Noble Dwali in behalf of that I feel person is a resurrection and a reincarnation to allow me to be here and have the mind that I have so I can express myself to you in the way that I want to share this. I'm very concerned about a name in which is called KEMIT, that I've heard many times say it was Egypt. And then I heard some people call it the Middle East. But you think about KEMIT in a culturally kind of way, and you recognize that you're talking about black land and black folks. Could this really be the beginning of civilization? Could this really be where philosophy came from other than the Greeks and the Romans? Why should this be brought up at this time? Well, one thing, the son of Bunnaman of the greatest good has reflected to me that you was talking about the God of all, the greatest of all good, the son of Bunnaman. And then I recognize another understanding that hit me that always taken me very serious is the pre-Haru, coming forth by day and night. The book of the dead, that Budge would call it, because he was assigned the gatekeeper in behalf of Great Britain with a title called the Ancient Keeper. You know, they come up with all kind of names to give you a degree to hold what you got, but at the same time, it don't necessarily be that important. But you see, one of the other things that hit me was to recognize the understanding of creation. That they were talking about the 9 He-Dads and the 8 Oneds, and they were speaking about the Gib, Newt, Shu, Tufnut, all these coming in place, making the creation in behalf of the water, the earth, the sky. Gib was called the mother of the earth. Newt was the sky. That was the most high. And yet, at the same time, we are talking about a philosophy, but somehow it regulates. What do you mean regulate? Well, when you don't hold philosophy or mythology, you come up with a word called religion. You were those people that started that religion in ancient Kemet.
That's right.
You were the pharaohs.
That's right. Break it down.
You were the people that knew of the Ma'at. Ma'at, scale justice like. Remind me almost of Statue of Liberty. Made me look at the idea of the courthouse, except she had a blind fold over eyes, where the Ma'at was the mother of love, truth, peace, freedom, and reciprocity. And as you taking this, you've seen the scales of justice. Made me be reminded in behalf of my Moorish training. I would always see the word Jesus, and immediately I realized that slaves use that name, but free people call them justice.
That's right. That's right.
So we look at this in a strong way. We look at this to understand, are you somehow talking about Set Kemet? give. No, are you talking about the understanding? I never check. What are you talking? What these words you throwing out here?
That's right.
What are you saying to us? Well, don't you know your language? Oh, I know you well acquainted to linguistics, aren't you? So therefore, you would understand exactly what I am saying. Culture is very important for you to have to describe your identity.
Demonstrate, Mo. Demonstrate.
I had a person ask me a question about what is a culture? Who are you? If you describe who you are, you tell me about your ways in which you have lived in behalf of a tradition that's called a culture.
That's right.
But it's strange about this. It's like it locks into the word called Christianity. It locks into it, but yet it's not it, but yet it locks into it. What happened? Did the Roman get hold to it? Did the Greeks come to get it? And they got a word called stolen legacy. Have your legacy been stolen?
Yes, sir. Yes.
You need to take a look at this in a serious kind of way, because we're talking about principles and values and conscious awareness. I haven't heard nothing like it. I just heard about truth. No, there's deeper things than truth. There's knowledge. The understanding of who you are, where you came from. You're disconnected against the understanding of positive thinking.
That's right.
Your mentality has been put into a slave environment. Sounds strange, doesn't it? Sound like a word called Slovak. No, slavery. You know what, I'm not meaning that in a harsh way, because generally when I say slavery, the average person think I'm talking about Kentucky, Indiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your mind with amnesia. I'm talking about when you have recognized that you somebody.
That's right.
You are as much as you think yourself to be.
Demonstrate, Mo.
Is that ancient Kemet? Yes, that's ancient Kemet. And I can tell you about the 142 negative confessions, broke down to 47. I can talk about that too. And then finally you got them as the 10 Commandments. And then later you put them up as 2. Moses. They tell me he was an Hierogamic. I recognize Moses, Mushu, Musa. All these names in linguistics telling me about he was in the water. You were too. Before you came in this world, you was in the water for 9 months. Water seemed to have something to do with life, don't it?
Yeah.
Still an ancient Kemet. I'm still talking about Kemet. I'm still talking about you and your ancestors, your Shepsus. That's your ancestors. They're in you, they're around you, they're dealing with you right now. You see, you have to watch us, because there is a kind of wave of regulation within theology. You know what I'm saying? Theology, God's ideal in behalf of logical understanding, where we take a better look at ourselves through principles. But at the same time, sometimes that theology is mixed with philosophy and mythology. It becomes very complicated, because it don't necessarily deal with truth. It deals with values and principles, sensitivity and ideology that makes up the word for you to use it. See, the strange thing about us is that when we start playing with words and we get into etymology, we're going into the heart of Kemet. The heart of Kemet. Somebody told me, said, well, you know, I know of Isis, and I know of Horus. Well, why you want to speak Greek and Roman when you got your own language?
That's right.
Haru, Asa, Aset, Sekhmet. Why are you going to use
That's right.
a foreign language? Why not learn your own language?
That's right.
You know, you're going to talk about the ra and the ta and the patat. Understand what you're talking about. Re is a name. Aman, the hidden God. These things are so beautiful when you do understand what you're talking about. When you understand that all the religion that ever was came from your ancestors.
That's right. Yeah, all right.
I know how you feel about it. It puts more responsibility on you, don't it?
That's right.
You can't freeload no more, can you? You're responsible people now that you know better, don't you? Yeah. You know what I learned? I thought it was one time I was a Pentecostal, and then I was a Lutheran, and then I was all this. And I said, what in the world I'm doing with all them strange looking names? There's some strange names, man, if you get to think about it. Well, I'm a Christian. I'm a Karas. You ever seen that before? A Karas. That's a Christ. That's where justice came into Kemet to hide himself from Harold. Can you imagine that? Harold sent them out to look for him. He fled into Kemet and he hid. Now, if he's in Kemet and Harold can't find him, there's something wrong about what he looked like, ain't it?
Yeah, break it down.
There's something wrong going on here. I don't think justice was what we thought he was. Well, I'm going to watch out for that because I'm going a little too fast because I had to go to 1509, don't I? And recognize the Renaissance period, don't I? Huh? Where Michelangelo commissioned his cousin to be painted as the model of Jesus.
That's right. That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I have to watch myself because, see, I was retired and put out of the Lutheran church because I was dealing with black theology. Okay, you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I made it for 26 years, hiding in the basement. You understand? Because my kind of talk wasn't wanted.
That's right.
Which make me come to the point here. Is this where Prophet Noble Drew Ali came from? It is true that he went to Kemet, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Then if that man came out of Kemet, and I'm talking the way I'm talking, then what would he be saying to you? What year are you telling me this came out about? Huh? Oh, come on now. You're making me wonder about you. There's something strange going on here. 1913, the man is here in North New Jersey. With the information I got, and it's been 80 years ago when he had it. What have y'all been doing with his teachings?
Oh,
Do you realize that this man has been hidden for years?
Yes.
I'm not going to go too far with this because I got other people that got to talk to you, and I got to let you know I can't understand this, and that this is not known in behalf of our world and our time right now.
That's right.
I see you, I see you. But there was an ancient Kemet. Then what was it? I had to watch myself because I think I'm going a little too fast. But I got to say that. Was it Islamism?
teach a lesson, Mo.
What was it?
That's right.
You're going to talk about a four quadrant in behalf of four types of religion and can't give me an understanding? You know, it makes me think of one thing in my mind. So before I get rid of it, I have to call my queen up. I gotta have Dr. Neferu Tahaka Bey come up, because I think she can lay something a little more than I can in behalf for the women folks. You know what I'm saying? See, I respect you women very much because you're the mother of my nation. You're the pearl of my nation. You're gonna bring the brothers and sisters in here so we'll be a nation. Now, why am I talking like this? Because there's information that needs to be more discovered. We're talking about I know. Come on, baby. You know, because I'm finding the difficult thing. I'm finding the difficult thing. I'm looking at all the people around here, and I'm looking and I'm seeing. I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to everybody in here. I'm sorry about your skin color. That has to do with your melanation. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's just the way you look. I'm talking to your soul. You know what a soul is? A bar and a car. Oh, I'm shut up. Let my cookie talk. Just now.
Thank you. Hotep.
Hotel.
When we say hotep, we simply saying peace. Other languages, they'll say shalom and the other words for it. And as my husband always says, that when you use a language, you empower the culture that it came from. And we're looking to empower our own. We're trying to reestablish, reconstruct, research our history. And we've been through a lot, so we've got to go back and pick it up, and it's been twisted and everything, and people have robbed from it, stolen from it, and not given credit to it. It's amazing that when we go to school and they'll talk about how Pythagoras, one little sentence, studied in Egypt, that Aristotle and some of the other great ones studied in Egypt, one little sentence. And after that, Pythagoras takes credit for everything.
That's right.
I'm into numerology, so you know, they give him credit for all of that. It started in Egypt. It started in Kemet. He was talking about the Ma'at,